crispness. I don't know if it's because of the room that I'm in there, or the room that I'm in here, where there's a little bit more of like the acoustics or something, or maybe it's the position. You know, this is stationary on an arm, or maybe it's because I'm sitting down, so I'm not breathing as heavily, or it's just a lot closer to my mouth where I do role plays. I have to, you know, pick up products and stuff. Okay, we have to have a tingle break already because there is a plane coming. Oh my gosh! Here, let me tap on my new book right here. This darn plane scratches. Should we do a little page turning? I love page turning. It's like the best thing ever. I had all my trigger words in here. I love journaling. This was a planner for last year, but I still use it to take notes. Little page turning for you guys. Okay, so tonight, as of recording this, which it's probably not the night time where you guys are, or probably not the same day, but as of today of recording this is November 2nd. Tonight is the Powerball, and it's for $1.2 billion. Now, if there is something you should know about me, is that I'm not like a gambler where I'm gonna go to Vegas and I'm gonna, you know, like gamble all my money away. I usually take like $1,000 out, and then when I'm done with that, I'm done. And let me tell you, I'm usually done. I very rarely win in Vegas. I think I won like one time, but I think I hit like a $1,200 jackpot on the Wheel of Fortune slot machines, which I love. But I took $1,000 out, so I mean, I really only like made $200, which, you know, then you have to like pay for dinners and hotels. Really, you lose money when you go to Vegas. I've never actually like made money, like went to Vegas, came home with more money. It's never happened. But I've always loved playing the lottery. I don't know what it is. I've loved to play it, but I haven't played it as religiously or consistently as I've had in the past. I would say the past year. I don't know what it is. I've had like this vision, right? I had a dream where I could see the winning numbers, and it felt so real. This dream felt so real. My dad was with me, and I remember I won for some reason. Like, we saw the numbers flash up on a screen in my dream. Like, what do you call it? Like Keno. Do you guys know Keno? Is that how you say Keno? Not Keto, but Keno. Keno. Like the game you play in Vegas. I think like kids can play it. I may be wrong, but people sit in chairs and they like pull the numbers. I think it's called Keno. I have no idea, but oh, this is interesting fabric. I have a Skims outfit on today as I was adjusting my neck, but it's kind of like an elastic. Anyways, that it kind of flashed up on like a Keno style board, these numbers, and I could see three of the numbers. Okay, so with Mega Millions and Powerball, you pick 5, and then there's the one, either the Powerball, I think it's called Powerball for Mega Millions too, or like the mega number or whatever. It's like that bonus number, and I see it so perfectly clear, but I could only see 3 numbers, so I always play these 3 numbers, not just once. I have like 5 rows with the 3 numbers in it, and I just have like a variety of different other numbers. I don't know, it's very bizarre, but I see these 3 numbers so clearly. So I saw that. It was about a year ago I had that dream, and it was like I was with my dad, and I remember I won, and I was like, I have to go tell Moses, my husband, you know. And so I was trying to find Moses, and it felt so real. Flash forward to like a month ago, I have another dream, right? And it feels so real. Like, oh my gosh, like buy them every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. The only days that there's no lottery is Sunday and Thursdays. So, so I buy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So just no Sunday or Thursdays. But you all, I just feel it, and I'm like, okay, the 1.2 billion, like, and can I tell you, like, part of me, like, I was like, you know, I'd be happy winning that $1 million, right? Like, if you get like 5 numbers or something, like, you win $1 million. I think with Powerball, you might win like 3 million. Little tingle break. Here we go. Ready? These are just my little nails, my little small nails today. But anyways, I'm really excited about the lottery tonight, and I tweeted something the other day. I was asking people what they would do if they won the lottery, and a lot of people had such great responses. So many people would just want to like retire their family, take care of their family, pay off their mortgage, like very sweet, humble responses. I loved it. But I have some, I mean, of course that's what I would do, right? Like, for me, I was kind of just putting the stuff that you wouldn't expect. Like, obviously, I remember I posted, the first thing, it was in no particular order, by the way, because the first thing I put was that I would make a Bollywood film, like a full-fledged Bollywood film with dancing and singing, and honestly, I want to star in it. I know that sounds so stupid or crazy or narcissistic, but like, hey, isn't that the whole point of having funds where you can be the executive producer? You can just star in it. And so I've done all my music videos, as we talked about in the previous podcast. But I would love to star in it so much. I would love to get like Bollywood actors, but I'd also love to get like new like Indian actors, like singer dancers, like give them like their first like, you know, break or whatever. I kind of would want it to be like my life story a little bit mixed with just like fantasy. I don't know, very Cheetah Girls, like Cheetah Girls. What number was that? 2 or 3? They went to Spain in one, and then they went to India in another. I love the Cheetah Girls. I need to rewatch that. But of course, I would love to get Naveen Andrews in it. He's not a Bollywood star. He is a TV actor in America, and he's also from England. But I would love to have Naveen Andrews. I even told Moses and I were talking about it. I'm like, oh, give me like our love story. And then Moses like, who would you get to play me? I'm like, Naveen Andrews, even though Naveen Andrews is like 10 years older than my husband. And they're they're different descent, obviously. What? I just did this and I feel like it's still ringing. Sorry about that. They're obviously from different countries. Naveen is from England and my husband is Israeli, but you know, you get the drift. He was down for it. My husband is such a good sport, by the way. I love my husband so much. Oh god, he's just the best in every single way. Like, not only does he take like amazing care of me, he takes we watched Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, and my husband, ironically, my husband dressed as Jafar before. On our proposal day, the day he proposed to me, he was dressed as Jafar, and I was dressed as the Jasmine. That's like the red Jasmine. She's kind of like the evil Jasmine. That's what Jafar. She's not evil, but she kind of has that. You know, she's in that red outfit. She's Jafar's like servant, I suppose. And we were supposed to cosplay just for fun. And my husband proposed to me as Jafar when I was Jasmine. It was But I also would buy a house with water slides. There is a house with water slides that I'm obsessed with in my community, actually in my gated community. The house we looked at before this was about double the cost, but I loved those house slides. I think about it all the time. There were these water slides. I call it the house slide because it's the house with the slides, but it's these amazing water slides, so I would do that. I of course would make sure my family's taken care of. I feel like that goes without saying. My daughter, like, set up her accounts, you know, make sure everyone has houses. I would want to buy all houses in my community so everyone has to live close to me. Oh, my dream car is a red and black Dawn Rolls Royce. I'm obsessed. I mean, I have a really beautiful pink Rolls Royce right now. It's a pink Rolls Royce Cullinan. I drove it today. I haven't driven it in so long. Because it's so flashy, but you know, it just felt like, oh, this fabric, can you hear it? I'm in a spandex jumpsuit. Okay, I kind of like that sound. My husband had two amazing red cars. When I met him, he had a red Porsche that he was obsessed with, so I'd get him that red Porsche back. And then he also had a red Ferrari. He sold the red Porsche when we got our Jeep because we needed a Jeep when we moved into this new house because he was converting back and forth for work. So he had to get the Jeep, and he traded in his Porsche. He traded in his Porsche for that. Then we got the red Ferrari, and once we found out that I was pregnant, he traded in the red Ferrari for a white Range Rover because I had a pink Rolls Royce. That was my car, and show.